Well, let's try that again. Hi, I'm Ernesto Cruz, and I teach history in the upper school.
All right.
Anything else you want to know?
So it says on your bio that you're coming into Latin as the Global Studies Coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that position and anything you hope to accomplish in that role?
Well, the Global Studies Coordinator is in charge of making sure that all the sections of Global Studies are kind of moving towards the same direction and roughly at the same pace. Because with the curriculum for that particular class, it's there. Teachers can access it and teach it in whatever way they see fit. But somebody's kind of referee and make sure that we're kind of all doing roughly the same thing at the same time. And something else I was brought into is one of the glaring holes in the global studies curriculum is that there's no African city. Global cities, right? 6 cities around the world, 3 in Europe, 2 in Asia, 1 in the Americas, nothing from Africa. And so one of the things I've been tasked with is to start the discussion and lead the discussion towards how do we include African history, which is a really important part of the history of our world. So that's something I've got coming up in the next couple of years to figure out.
So New Mexico, Kansas, Missouri, and Waukegan.
Yeah.
How long did you teach in each of those places, and what did you teach?
All right. So I grew up in Elgin. So if you get on the Kennedy and keep going, right before you get to that turn before you get to Rockford, I grew up there, and I left for college, and I moved to Minnesota. Went to Carleton College in Minnesota, and I told my mom, don't cry, I'll be back in 4 years. Don't worry about it. And it took me 16 years to get back. And I was married, and I had 2 kids. By the time I did that. And so after graduation, I was at the Missouri Academy for Science, Math, and Computing in Maryville, Missouri for 2 years. I was at the University of Kansas for 2 years. I was at Lawrence Free State High School in Lawrence, Kansas for 2 years. And in that time, I also spent a year when I wasn't teaching at KU, but I was at the high school working for the men's basketball program at the University of Kansas in the compliance department. And then my wife is originally from New Mexico, so she wanted to move back to New Mexico. So we moved to New Mexico. I spent 2 years trying to find a teaching job that made sense for me. And then I spent 5 years at Santa Fe High School in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And then I moved to Waukegan. I moved to teach in Waukegan this last year. And then I came to Latin after 1 year in Waukegan. So,
what's your favorite memory as a teacher thus far?
Favorite memory as a teacher thus far? Wow. Because I've been teaching for 15 years, almost 15 years at this point. 12 years in the class. This is year 12 or 13. I lost count. But probably my favorite memory is 2 students from my first year just got married last year, and just watching them grow up and thinking back to when met them when they were juniors in high school. It was my first year teaching. I'd been out of college 2 months, and to think of all the things that have transpired and to see the really remarkable people that Robin and Travis have become has been really, really fantastic. So it's probably my favorite memory.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.